Well, Fela Durotoye is not a new name, especially when you're talking about leadership. But he's new to politics. He said he's, entered in the nation's top job. So a lot of people have said and rumored online. I have him here with me in the studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Fela Durotoye, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, and may I quickly express my deepest condolences to the families of those who have been bereaved by the terrible acts of violence all across our nation. Our hearts, as a nation, our hearts and prayers should go to everyone who has been bereaved. And I do pray that, as we have always done as a nation, we gather and rally round those who have been bereaved. And Nigerians, we learn how to support ourselves. So please, if anyone is listening now, please, find a way to support the families of those whom we've experienced the bereavement.
Let's start the conversation tonight, because I know one thing, your forte is leadership training, and you're one person I've heard speak about what this nation needs to move to the next level. What exactly is the problem of this country? A lot of places that I've traveled to, you hear how much potential this nation has in mining, in oil, and nations that do not even have up to the capacity of what we have as a nation are thriving. What exactly do you think is a problem in this country?
Well, let me quickly say that, nobody anywhere in the world, like you said, has ever doubted the potential of Nigeria, especially as a nation. We're a blessed country. We're a blessed country. We're blessed in natural resources, but more importantly, in human resources. We are the largest black nation in the world. And then combined with the fact that we are actually, if you look at the map of the world, Nigeria literally is right in the center of the nexus of world trade. So if you really look at it, we should be not only and do we have the capacity to be able to maximize our mining and other resources, but then we should be the logistics and production base for the world. But we have not yet seen that potential manifest. And I believe that potential is not a blessing to a nation. Potential is a call to responsibility for every generation to maximize this. This is what I believe. And the only challenge that we have found, that between potential and the reality of the greatness of any nation, is something called good governance. And good governance is very simple. It's not a hypothetical, it's simple. When good people who have a heart for the people, a love for the nation, who have the capacity to be able to take the best decisions on behalf of the people, when the brightest and best of the nation are given the opportunity to be able to serve the people in all the elected and appointed offices, as well as in the bureaucracy and in the private sector, when the people who have the capacity are given the opportunity, then you have good people in governance. The problem with Nigeria so far is that we have not yet seen a system that produces naturally good people into governance.
Really? I mean, a lot of people, so you're talking about the leadership system in Nigeria?
Oh, yes. So there's a leadership system that I call selectocracy in Nigeria.
What does that mean?
The selectocracy simply is a kind of system whereby the access to positions of authority and, in some cases, power is in a sense determined by a few people who have a higher interest in themselves and their own select interest than they have in the interest of the general public. So in the political parties, for instance, I know that in most of the political parties, we have heard of times, and we have seen times when young people have tried to run for either office of local government chairman or whatever the other offices are, and then there are certain people who arrogate unto themselves the right to decide who will go as an aspirant to become a candidate.
Does this not happen in other climes?
No.
In the United States?
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
look at, if you remember, right? And Barack Obama was not the preferred candidate of the Democratic Party. The establishment candidate was Hillary Clinton. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Remember that Donald Trump was not the preferred candidate. And you mentioned that at the beginning of this show, right? The preferred candidates were Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz, and all of these guys. But there was no Baba Oke or Baba Saleh, no godfather anywhere who had the right to tell one person, step down. That was given to the people. How did they do it? Very simple. The political parties give voting rights to the members of the party, not just delegates. They give voting rights to the members of the party, especially at the primary elections level.
So basically, do you say, or are you saying that is a breakdown in the leadership structure, or there is a leadership failure in Nigeria?
Oh, well, I don't even know whether to call it a leadership failure, because what we have are not leaders, and we have not seen leaders really emerge in Nigeria. What we have are rulers, and we have to call rulers for what they are. Rulers are people who typically lord over others, believing that they are better than others, believing that they know and others don't, believing that they have certain powers that the others don't have. And typically, rulers, not leaders, tend to be able to suppress and depress the desires of people, the capacity to be able to aspire for anything and to be able to try.
All right.
So let us be clear, Seun. We have not seen leadership in Nigeria.
Okay, we take a breather, but when we come back, Fela Durotoye here, he's coached people about what leadership could mean. But again, in 2019, what will matter? Who could be the next president of Nigeria? That's going to be one major issue that you and I will be discussing alongside with Fela Durotoye on the show. Don't go anywhere, everyone. Stay with us.